Hello friends, my name is Steph. I'm back in my garden, and in today's video I would like to go through all the little seedlings and the seeds that are germinating in my nursery, in my little greenhouse that's just behind me, and the ones I've upgraded before going into the big wide world, into my polytunnel. So let's start first in my nursery, which is right inside. Let's go. Welcome in my little nursery. So as you can see, I don't have a lot going on at the minute. I will be doing a few resowings in a few weeks time, so I'll just be using it to germinate, and once these have germinated, my little greenhouse or my little nursery here will be put away for the year. So what I've got at the minute, I actually have my daughter's little sunflower that she did at nursery. So this one is obviously still sitting here, and in fact it does need a bit of uppotting. I might do that for her because they are quite sensitive at this time, at this size. And she could be snapping it, we just never know. So anyway, move on. I bought 6 lemon verbenas, which I left in the kitchen in a bit of water for a couple of weeks, and they're looking a little bit straggly, so I managed to put these on. So these do like it really, really warm. Lemon verbena, it's one of my favorite to grow. I've never been able to grow them from seed, so I just buy starts. I've got a few tomatoes that I left in here. They're not huge ones, but everything in here has only been sown about a month ago, so I've still got here a bit of acorn squash. I have moved on a handful into the greenhouse just to start getting them used to being outside. There you go. So just a minute about this one, because it's the first time that I've tried acorn squash. I've got a few plants, just because I only tend to be getting 1 or 2 fruits on each squash or pumpkin plant. So I've got a few plants to go anyway, and see how it takes me. Let me just move this one aside. This is a Patisson sunburst squash. So this is a yellow one. Let me try and untangle this. I mean, look, I've got a little baby one right here. I've got 2 female flowers coming up. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Look at them. I've got so many. So yeah, this one, it is a little bit on the dry side. I do need to give them a little bit of water. I might, if I've got space, I might actually move all of this out into my greenhouse by the end of this week, just because they are literally ready, apart from this one possibly, and this teeny tiny little one. I'm gonna probably not put them on, but just move them on, because they've got half decent pots in here anyway. This beautiful tomato plants, I've got 3 left in here. I think I've got a couple in the greenhouse outside, which we may or may not see, because I've got a forest of stuff in there. I don't know if anybody can see that. They look so bright green, it's amazing, and yet under the light they've got a purple hue. Can you see that on the camera? Is it showing? To me, I can see it. And this is a Black Beauty one that my friend gave me, so I'm really excited. So I've got 5 seeds of those. This one's looking a little bit ropey, but anyway, I'm sure it's going to survive. Giving a little space. It was on the bottom shelf, I moved it out. Going on to the bottom shelf, as you can tell, I have a few plants that are also, you can see the roots are finally popping through. That's a really good sign, but that means, 1, that it's really well established, but 2, it's getting root bound and it's getting a little bit tight, and it's telling you, come on mum, pop me on. What are you? Yeah, mixed courgette, can't really see it. I bought seeds that were mixed courgette, so I actually haven't got a Scooby what this is. You can see I've got lots of babies, and that's really, really good sign. I love it. But is it going to give me a lot of courgette? I have no idea. And I don't know which type of courgette it is, so that's going to be another surprise. I'm going to leave it here for the minute before I snap it. What else have we got in here? So I've got little gem trailing squash. I've got 5, they've all germinated. You can see these are due to be up potted. So this will be up potted back before the end of the week into the individual pots of that size. I've got some purple peppers. I don't actually sow any peppers, to be honest, because as you will see in a minute, I've got some peppers on my windowsill, one of my south-facing windowsills. I generally haven't actually grown any peppers because whenever I have, it's just been such a waste of space because it's just not warm enough. But I've done a little bit of research, and I'll explain that further when we go to have a look at those peppers. But basically what I'm doing at the minute is just I'm going to buy all the ones that I reduce and just keep those. However, I don't think I've ever seen purple peppers in the shops. One hasn't germinated, so I've got 4 at the minute here. This one is the biggest one. So yeah, I'm just trying purple peppers just to add to my collection of peppers that I'm going to keep on my windowsills indoors all year round, because this is where they seem to be doing the most. And when comes spring, when everybody's looking at teeny tiny little seedlings, or oh, mine hasn't germinated yet, it's been 5 weeks, well, I'm already looking at peppers because I've kept them indoors during the winter. I've just given them a little bit of water just to make sure they don't dry out. And come February, not spring, February, you can see that they start growing new shoots. And as the days become longer or lighter, what happens is that those shoots start getting flowers, and the flowers turn into peppers. And I've already harvested a couple of handfuls, more than a couple of handfuls of peppers of my snack ones, snack peppers. They're really small red snack peppers, so I'm going to get of different colours and different types. So anyway, so I've bought some seeds for my purple peppers and see how they do. So they were planted, I don't even know if it's got a date on here. I did put a date on it, but you can't see it anymore. Anyway, it was about a month ago. It wasn't longer than 6 weeks ago. Then I've got pepper seeds that my dad's given me. They haven't done anything. I need to try again because apparently you're supposed to soak the seeds. For some vegetables, it is actually worth doing. But anyway, so I need to start again. But then I've got those two different types of melons. Let me just move that tomato plant out, which by the way is a Tigerella tomato plant. It's also a smallish one. It's one of the later ones, or possibly they were teeny tiny, like you can see these garden perla ones here. They need putting on as well. These were sown on the 16th of March, so they're not huge, but they're quite small. I think they may have just run out of nutrients in that little soil because it's been longer than 6 weeks. Has it been longer than 6 weeks? Something like that. No, probably not. But it's that because they've taken so long, and I've actually got compost in here. I didn't use, you can see, I haven't used seedling compost because there's just not enough nutrient in it. For teeny tiny little seeds, it might be worth it, but to be honest, for these, they're absolutely fine. And you can see they've all germinated perfectly fine, but they're just taking so long to grow. So I will be putting these on because obviously the longer they stay in these tiny little cells, I mean, they might not die, but it might actually prevent them from growing really, really big later on as they, get older. Then I've got next to it, so I've got 2 types of melons. I've got melon Charentais, which this one is a light green outside and orange inside, which is kind of the standard one that you get in the shop. But I found a different variety, which I thought was quite nice, which is melon St. Anne's. So that one is orange on the outside and pale pale green on the inside. These have taken absolutely ages to germinate. And you can see the first set of leaves are even starting to yellow. This one is the strongest one, the first one that's germinated. So yes, these are also basically everything in here pretty much is going to get potted on. This is the last of it. I will be sowing, as I said, a handful of different veg that I would like to succession sow. And once these have germinated, this whole nursery greenhouse here with the grow lights will be going. So anyway, so then I've got a row of cucumbers. I'm not exactly sure why they're taking so long. They are old seeds, and I can't remember what the brand is of it at all. It may have been Aldi or Lidl or something like that, but they have popped up. So that might be another one, another set of seeds that I might be trying to germinate again. In fact, I've bought 2 new packs. No, sorry. 3 new packs of different types of cucumbers at Lidl. So I would like to see if I can get these germinated as well and see if we can succession plant them as well. I've got, let's have a look, mixed lettuce, old seeds. I mean, this one's grown. What it's going to do, I have no idea. You can see they're not massive seeds. These, I can't remember what happened to these. I may have pulled these out because they germinated ages ago and repotted them, but I don't remember seeing them outside. And then I've got, what is that? The white bush scallop. I've got one that's germinated. They are really, really struggling. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, look at it. I don't know. You know, it's been kept moist. It's, you know, where it should be to germinate. But yes, anyway, let's have a look on the other side. So we've got more sunburst. I mean, look at it. Look at those beautiful little babies. Got flowers everywhere. Focus, lovely. Look, I've got more babies. There we go. You can see the female flower, or the female future flower. It's the one, I don't know if I can show you this one with the yellow bit on it. The others are male flowers, which we will need to produce fruit. And the same on this side. All the yellow ones are female flowers, the others are male. So yeah, absolutely excited. I mean, you can see how desperate this one is. I can't remember which one this one is, to be honest. It hasn't got a label. Some of them haven't got labels. But look, it's starting to grow root around here. So anyway, I'm going to try and get these potted on before the weekend because, yeah, as I said, I'm going away next weekend and I'm trying to get everything sorted before I'm gone. But yes, this is all I've got on my at my nursery or in my nursery. I've got nothing. I've got four different levels, and this one is particularly tall with the light because, as you can imagine, some of these, especially the tomatoes, they get quite tall, and to be honest, it's quite useful when you've got fruit or veg that get really, really tall, because heaven forbid you start a little bit earlier, whatever, you know, things happen and you need a little bit of head space. So this one's quite tall. The others aren't. So these are really ideal for, you know, small seedlings or to germinate. Right, let's have a look outside in the greenhouse. And this is a secret stash of plants that I've got on a south-facing windowsill. These are actually last year's pepper plants, which is an experiment. I wanted to try to overwinter them after doing a little bit of digging because I found that pepper plants actually are perennials. And I found people online who were saying, well, my plant is 8 years old. So what I've done is I've just kept it on my south-facing windowsill. I've just watered it every now and again. It obviously goes a little bit dormant. so it doesn't grow particularly, but came February, it was coming with loads of flowers. And I've got some more. I don't know if you can see that coming. I've got beautiful peppers. When everybody's looking at seedlings, I'm looking at beautiful little peppers. So yeah, I've got loads of buds coming on. I don't know if you can see that properly. There we go. And on this one, I mean, this is a reduced one, you can see. That was reduced at being cute. And that is one that my son bought. Snack peppers. And I mean, look at it. I've got peppers absolutely everywhere. I've already harvested about 10 of these that had turned red. And I've got peppers everywhere. I've got one here. One here. Here. I've got another fat one here. I mean, they're absolutely everywhere. I mean, and like I said, I've already harvested about 10 from this plant. And it just keeps on giving. So I'm going to try this year in September, when B&Q are reducing their peppers. I'm going to be buying one of each colours and types, so the snack pepper and the big pepper like this, and just keeping them indoors on my windowsills. I've got another windowsill which is on the other side, which gets morning sun, but I'm sure it will do absolutely fine because it'll always be warmer behind the window. And this is where I'm going to be keeping my peppers going forward. So stay tuned to see what all these little beauties are doing going forward. I have finally managed to plant out, to make some space in the greenhouse, to plant out my lettuces, which I'm so proud. I sowed from seeds. It's the first year I've been able to pot lettuces without the lettuce dying. And if I can only make a suggestion, especially if you are limited on space, look how this one is standing up really nicely. They've only been in a couple of days, so they might look a little bit sad, but they are not wilted. So what's going to happen is they're going to be perking up, like some of them are already doing. And these I use as cotton come again. So this is guttering that I've used, that we have put on the fence. The main reason for it is to keep it away from the slugs, basically. And it's doing a really great job at it, to be honest. I've put it on the side of the fence, which doesn't get any sunshine in the afternoon, because in my previous property I had it the other way around. I had it on the other side of the fence, which is the fence that gets sunshine in the afternoon, so heat, and with the gutters being black, it attracts the heat from the sun, and they dry out and they bolt in the end because they are so stressed, because you're having to water them so many times during the day just to keep them watered and happy. But also the heat in general, if we've got, you know, a summer that is quite warm, then they will easily bolt, and then I've lost my produce. So yeah, word of advice, if you are struggling with space, or if you've got a small garden, if you've got a fence, put some gutters up and get some quality soil and plant some lettuces in there. I started with strawberries, and my strawberries all died because there is just not enough soil space for the roots. However, for the lettuces, they do really, really, really well. You know, it will be interesting to see how throughout the summer on the garden tours my lettuces are doing. And as I said, they are picking come again lettuces. So as they grow, I'll be picking them on an almost daily basis. So this is my little greenhouse. It looks quite full at the minute, but it was a lot fuller than that. I have moved a lot of things, especially cooler crops, into the polytunnel, which we're going to have a look at it in a minute, but I'll show you on the closer look what's sitting in my greenhouse. So this is the view of my greenhouse that's growing at the minute. As I said, I've got a lot more, but it's all been moved out and everything is dying to come out. So let's have a look. I've got some little trees coming up here. This is a peach tree, 2 peach trees that I was given by my sister. So I'm really chuffed they're coming up. And my really big tomatoes. They are scattered a little bit everywhere. I've got smaller ones, bigger ones that I've sown at different times. So I have got, here we've got an Amish paste one, a Marmande, which is a beef tomato. Not sure what this one is. That'll be a surprise, no doubt. This one is another Marmande. I've got down here, this is a Scatterlone one. This one is a burlesque, which has done absolutely nothing. I don't know why this is even sitting in here. Let's move it out. And I've got a Yellowstone tomato. I've got a black cherry tomato. I've got a few of those. I've got another Yellowstone one at the back. Another black cherry tomato. So I've got various tomato plants around here. I've still got some of my lettuces, Bois de Chêne. I think these become really, really big single lettuces, which I'm going to plant in my polytunnel, I believe. I've got a few more sitting in here. What is that? This is a tumbling tom one that I've got sitting here. I've got various courgettes. Unfortunately, I bought some mixed courgettes and it didn't tell me what the seeds were. So I planted a few and I'm just kind of hoping for the best, I guess, and seeing what it is. This one is a, let me get, jumbo pink banana squash or pumpkin, and I'm really excited with this one because they look really, really nice and are supposed to be quite easy to grow. They're supposed to be easy to grow in the UK. So, and I tend to only get 1 or 2 per plant, so I do have quite a few, and I'll just see how they're doing. I have planted some cosmoses as well, and I don't know about you, but did I need to pinch them or something? I'm not exactly sure. I do need to plant them out, and I can see I've got, oh, focus. I've got more buds coming up. So on my to-do list for this week as well is planting all the flowers out. I've got a few. You can see down here, some of them got damaged, unfortunately, when we had the strong winds. So my greenhouse stood, but everything that was on the shelves had fallen over, so I was a little bit upset by that. We've got raspberry Malignac around here, more cosmoses, of course. I've got more down here as well. Which one is this one? This one is a Black Beauty tomato that my friend Alan gave me, so I'm really excited about those. I've got Moneymaker. I mean, they are doing really, really good, you know. They're in really good condition. I mean, they've got the odd leaves and whatever because it is still quite chilly at night. Yeah, more squashes. Down here, I've got butternut squash here. I'm really excited because they're such healthy plants. Let me see if I can show you. Look at those beauties. So yeah, I've never been able to grow butternut squash. I bought organic seeds a few years ago and I got nothing. I had a few flowers, but nothing even settled. And I forgot what these flowers are. If you remember those, you tell me. So yes, these are zinnias, which also need to come out. So this is going to be planted this week as well, along with all of my sweet peas here. I'm a little bit late to the party, I know. But I've just been really, really busy. I've pinched them out. And I do want them out of their pots. They're going to be going into hanging baskets in the front, near my front door, or along my front wall kind of thing. Yeah, so these, I'm going to have to plant these out this week before I go. Then I've got asparagus. I bought some white asparagus seeds from France, so that's French asparagus. And I mean, look, there's teeny tiny little babies. Isn't this cute? Yeah, so some of them I've up-potted, and these still need up-potting, unfortunately. You're a weed, goodbye. So I do need to up-pot them. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing with them. I mean, look at it. How healthy is this one, for instance? You know? So yeah, it's white asparagus, so I'm really excited with that because the only asparagus you get is green or purple in the UK, and I really want to have something that's a little bit local to my cuisine and the area I come from. And right now it's the perfect time for it because it's the asparagus time over there, so I really, really miss it. But yeah, so I need to up-pot these, but it's not exactly I mean, this one needs watering a little bit. This one is bone dry. I'm not exactly sure because the others are wet. But anyway, yes, so I've got a tomato burlesque at the back. These were old seeds. Tomato burlesque. Where I was just trying to use up what I had, see what germinated. I mean, there's a little bit of damage on some of them just because it's still really chilly. So yeah, I'll just take them off, to be honest, and allow the plant to, you know, get better. Same with this one. The early leaves at the bottom are a little bit affected, and it's probably because, oops, we're 2 degrees at night and my door was open, so it seems to be doing pretty well, to be honest. Nothing is struggling. I do have the odd leaves that you know, need picking off or whatever, or the first ones, to be honest. But yeah, they'll be doing great. Oh, that's it. I have found my flower. It is Lavatera Twins Hot Pink. Yes, so these are going to go mainly in my front bed, a flower bed in the front. Ooh, I've got more black cherry tomatoes in the back. These are a little bit smaller, you can see, apart from this one. These were sown a little bit later. I've got some courgette de Nice, which I'm really happy about. All of those. So yeah, I do have little blueberries in here as well. Got some blueberry flowers coming up. Really excited. I should really put these on, but I just haven't gotten around to it just yet. So they have a half decent sized pot, so they're going to have to stay in there until I can get to them. Like I said, I've got loads of things that I need to pot on, things that I need to check, things that I need to plant into the final spaces, particularly the flowers in this place. I think it's a tad too early to have the tomatoes out unless I plant the ones in the polytunnel. Yeah, decisions. So now we're in the polytunnel. There's not much growing physically apart from a grapevine at the back, which is coming back. We've got my kiwi plant just by the back door. But as you can tell by the shade already, the oak tree has been pushing leaves up already. Ta-da! And this is the result, and that isn't even the result of the tree being in full leaf. It gets really, really dark in this corner. So I'm wondering whether I'm going to have to dig this out one day, because this is its 3rd year. I think, I don't know how old it was when I bought it, but I've had it at least 4 years. So a year before we moved to this property, and then I planted it, and I've not had any fruit. But I've done a little bit of research, and I might have to move it from this place to that place over here, simply because this is the sunniest corner. So where the grapevine on this corner, and here is the sunniest part of the polytunnel. So I'll have to wait and see what my decision is. It doesn't look like it's going to have massive roots, so fingers crossed we'll have to deal with it when I deal with it. But talking about seedlings, this is what I've got growing in here. Right, so I've got quite a bit, as you can tell. This is mostly cold. Actually, I think they are all cold crops, to be honest. Let's have a look. So these are my son's leeks. So these are still too small to even be potted on, in my opinion anyway. I would give it maybe, I don't know, I just need to see how they grow, maybe another month or so. They're still quite teeny tiny, a little bit of hair. Then I've got more cosmoses. As you can tell, I've got more of my son's leeks here. Cosmoses which need to go out. Not exactly sure what happened to this one, but yeah. They are not looking the nicest because they got damaged when they fell off my shelf in the greenhouse when we had those really, really strong winds. So I've got a salad frisée here, again, really chuffed because it's looking really, really strong. Look at them. These are single lettuces that I'm going to be cutting. So these are doing great. I repotted them, and for the first time, again, these as well, they didn't wilt. They usually tend to wilt and then die off, and they did last year as well. And I was gutted because I also bought organic seeds at the time, so I was a little bit miffed with that. This one, I forgot what it's called again, but that's another one that's going to need to go in the edges or the corners or the sides of the flower bed. Then I've got spinach. All of these are spinach. So the spinach, I'm going to plant it over in the back, or I don't know yet actually, front or back. I'm going to plant it on this side somewhere, because again, the spinach, you keep picking it, whereas the big lettuces, I might put them in the back. I don't know yet, but this is a shady place which I don't think lettuces will mind. But again, it's going to be an experiment, seeing I'm having to use up the space that I've got. You can see my potatoes doing really, really well. They need earthing up, in fact. So that's going to be on my to-do list this week as well. But yeah, I've got bois de chêne lettuces, which are single head lettuces. I don't know if they are cut and come again. I'll have to do some digging on that. Nice spinach, which is doing really, really well. I should have sown it. I got the seeds really late, unfortunately. I never thought that actually you're supposed to plant them in, in the winter. It is the Matador variety. I don't know if you can see. Then I've got my son's onions again. I think these are ready to be potted on as well, because I'm going to need this space to plant things out. I have sown and up-potted my Brussels sprouts. The first lot, unfortunately, didn't germinate, so this is my second lot. I just don't manage. I've never ever been able to grow Brussels sprouts that in a size that you can use. So this may be the last time that I'm bothering with Brussels sprouts, because Remember, we're trying to beat the supermarkets in. We're trying to be self-sufficient. If I keep growing something that just doesn't happen, I'm going to have to ditch this and plant something else in it that is going to get me food at the end of the day. And that is the principle that I'm running by. I have bought some broccoli from the garden centre just because mine was really, really behind and you just never know. I've got lots of kales here. This is a dwarf kale. I've got a few of those. I potted them round about that size and I'm not exactly sure what's happening because they are quite small still. Never mind. I do have a that's the one. I planted them mid-Feb and they are still really, really small. I don't know if it's me doing something wrong. But yeah, that's what I've got going at the minute. Yeah, so I've got some cauliflowers to put on as well, and that is going to get done again this week because I need this space, and they are getting to a size where I want to be able to just put them in the ground and forget about them. I know we've got the cabbage fly, but they are not out at this time of year yet. It took me a little while last time. So, yeah, hopefully they'll last a little bit longer. They should be fine. And I will net them later on when they're a little bit bigger. Then I've got, let's have a look. Oh, my chamomile that never did Sodor and Little Feu de Chêne. So these are also French lettuces, which are doing really, really well, but they are in single, apart from this one maybe. They're mostly in single cells, so I'm leaving them in there for a little bit longer. I might give them another couple of weeks and then plant them somewhere in this greenhouse, in this polytunnel, sorry. These are the ones that I planted myself. Kale Nero. You can see, I don't know, they're really long. Is this how they're supposed to be? I'm not exactly sure. Kale Nero, I've had them in the past. I can't remember if they were grown from seed though, but they are doing really, really well. I mean, I can't complain. Look at the size of them. So yeah, these are going to go in as well. I might have too many of those and I might just give them away at the allotment. See if the community plot has space for it or if somebody wants any. So yeah, and then I've got, I believe, oh yeah, chamomile. I did buy one because mine didn't do anything. But yes. So this is what I've got growing at the minute in my polytunnel. So a lot of it is brassicas, onions, leeks, lettuces mostly, and spinach. So all of that should be in a month's time. I reckon there will be nothing left of that. Everything will be planted in because we are getting some lovely weather at the minute. So this is what I've got growing at the minute. If you've got a small garden, a bigger garden, a patio, a balcony, or even just a windowsill, you know, if you don't want to grow anything from seed just yet, it takes some getting used to. Just go to a garden centre and buy something, grow something. Anything that you are growing to feed your own family is money you're putting inside your own pocket. So especially if you've got produce that are multi-picks, even perennials, even better. So you can buy some leeks and that will make you several meals. You can buy, I don't know, herbs. You can buy fruit bushes, strawberries, you know, anything that takes more than one meal, then at least you're putting that money back into your pocket and not the government. Have a good day.